Hello, gentlemen. Today's lesson is going to be a focus on DHCP. In order to get us there, I also have to talk to you a little bit about TCP/IP addresses and ranges. If you remember, last week we learned, or 2 weeks ago, we learned about DNS. DNS is how the computer goes about converting words to IP addresses in order for you to communicate with computers out on the Internet. Well, your computer is on many different networks. It may be here on the network at school, on your network at home. You may take it to the network at your local Starbucks or whatever your favorite hotspot is around your community. Each time you visit one of those, your computer needs to have an address, and it cannot use the same address because your computer doesn't own a permanent address on the Internet. Permanent addresses on the Internet are controlled by companies, they cost money, and there's a limit to the number of them. So how does your computer get an address? There's a tool called the Dynamic Host Control Protocol, and in a little bit you'll watch a video about that. And the Dynamic Host Control Protocol is a service. There's a server on the computer. Your computer talks to it when it connects to the network, and it receives the information it needs to work on the network. Specifically, it receives an IP address, a net mask, it will receive a gateway, and it will receive a DNS servers from that DHCP server. And so all of those things are going to be important for your server or for your device for it to successfully connect. I'm going to pause here for a minute and connect to my whiteboard so that I can show you some of what's going on. It's on the network. I've got a high quality drawing here to assist you in understanding how this DHCP works and how your computer works on the network. You can see here we have the Internet. This is our firewall, which is the gateway for our network. Here's the school's network. My Android tablet currently has an IP of 10.1.80.61. The firewall, however, has an Internet address of 74.126.15.98. Now, this address on my device is a private address. It is not allowed to ever operate on the Internet. There are restricted ranges, and this allows for there to be a lot of devices that don't need Internet addresses but still can communicate. And that's done through something called NAT, Network Address Translation. And NAT, when my computer tries to go out to the Internet, it takes whatever my request is and rewrites it with this as the source address. So the Internet sees the request coming from this address. Then when the response comes back, the firewall identifies it and again changes the address and sends it back to my device. And that way my device doesn't need an Internet address. Quick look here for you. If you look at these values down here at the bottom, if you see any IP addresses in these number ranges, the 10.0.0.0 range, 172.16.0.0 range, 192.168.0.0 range, these addresses are all private. They're only allowed within private networks isolated from the Internet. And they are used by different companies to manage their internal devices. Now, once again, on our network, we have a DNS server. We also have a DHCP server. Now, keep in mind, a single server could provide both of these services. So my computer gets an IP address. So when our device comes in on the network, it sends out a request, and the DHCP server responds. You'll see more of this in the video, but the DHCP server is going to give me an address like this one, but in addition, it's going to tell me what is my gateway, and it's going to tell me what is my DNS server, and it also provides something called a net mask, and the net mask is used for it to know which devices are on the local network. So if it's trying to talk to a device that's on the local network, it will just send it out on the network. If it's trying to talk to any device that's not on the local network, it knows to send it to the gateway, excuse me, and once it goes to the gateway then sends it onto the internet to get the information that's required. So this is the DHCP service. You'll learn more about it in the video. I think you'll get a better understanding as Eli, the computer guy, goes over its usage. He also talks about some of the risks if someone can control DHCP, what they can do. We've actually had some challenges because we've identified, and we believe it's games. There are some games that set a computer's DNS server, and they set it so that it no longer responds to DHCP. When this happens, that person's device doesn't get our DNS server, and when they don't get our DNS server, they don't connect properly to the school's web servers. So I'm going to let you go on with watching the video from Eli, the computer guy, and that will put you in a good position to be prepared to take the quiz for this lesson. Thanks for your time, guys.